This was the first time in history a Pokemon DLC was announced before the game was even released. But why? Well, you should know Nintendo Gamefreak by now. When it comes to money, they don't play around. Because of course, the DLC is not for free, it's paid. But of course, that's valid. I don't mind paying for an extra bonus campaign for Pokemon game, but why on earth have you given us the option now, rather than a few months after the game is released? For me personally, it seems a bit pushy and money hungry, but that's not the main reason for why I'm making this video. They did something else which I think could have been handled a lot better. They created a paywall for the 3 new Mega Kalos starters. Now, they know how popular these 3 Pokemon are, right? And they decided to lock them against the paywall. That's right, in order to obtain and play with the new Mega starters, you have to have a few things. One of those things is an online membership. Now, I know the online membership, the Nintendo one, doesn't cost a lot, right? It's only a few bucks. Well, in this case, in order to obtain the Mega Pokemon, you're going to need to pay about an additional $30 to have all 3 of them. Because you're going to need to pay at least $10 per season, as I'm guessing each season lasts about 2 to 3 months each. And on top of that, you're not guaranteed to receive those Mega Stones. You have to reach a certain rank in the online battles in order to get them. Now, there's a few problems with that. A lot of people can't afford to pay that premium to have those 3 Pokemon. I'm not talking about just money, I'm talking about time as well. As these are limited, meaning once the season is over, the rewards, including those Mega Stones, are going to be gone. Bruv, like there's kids out there whose favorite Pokemon are Greninja and Delphox, and they really want the new Mega Stones, right? I can imagine being a kid, if you like those Pokemon, those are your favorite Pokemon, you're going to want to have Mega of those Pokemon, right? And now they have to go ask their parents for additional $30 to try win those items, not even receive those items, to go and try win those items. And I'm not speaking for everyone here. A lot of kids can just ask their parents and they'll get it, but a lot of other kids can't, and they're in the same position as I was back in the day. So I know how like a lot of people will feel because of this. Like the game itself costs quite a bit of money already, so adding those extra paywall stuff seems a bit greedy, man. Now, of course, I don't want to be that guy that's complaining, right? But there's a lot of people out there who also don't appreciate what Nintendo and Gamefreak have done. Of course, you guys probably know Austin John Plays, one of the biggest Pokemon YouTubers in the world. And I watched his recent video and I went on the comment section and I had a read at some of the comments. Locking behind rank killed all the hype I had for the game. No desire to play online, let alone ranked. Fair enough. And just like that, my hype for the game is plummeting. The game costs $60 to $70, and plus you got to pay for the DLC just to get all the Mega Pokemon Stones, and that's absurd. And to add to that, you also have to deal with sweats in online battles. Do you remember when Legends Arceus came out? It felt honest, no online requirement for trade or reward, 3 updates that gave us massive mass outbreaks, and no planned DLC. See how Legends EA is ruining out why Legends Arceus felt nice. Making a Kalos starter Megas being stuck behind a paywall and being limited time is actually wild. Regardless of how you end up being able to get the stones, locking access to the Kalos starter Megas behind a competitive PvP mode is diabolical. Maybe 30% of the player base does competitive play. It's really not fair to people playing for fun. And last of all, this is by far my favourite comment that I found on the video. Gamefreak once again with a 1 step forward, 3 steps back approach. And it's true. It feels like we're further straying away from Pokemon as time goes by. It's like as if they're moving further and further away from the people who actually made their company. I'm not talking about the producers, I'm not talking about the directors or the creators of Pokemon. I'm talking about us as the community who have supported them and built what they have now. We as a community, as cringe as it sounds, we have built what Pokemon is today. And I feel like they should at least acknowledge that by sometimes listening and appreciating what we have to say. Like they could have just added those Mega Stones as part of the story, which, you know, we have already paid for, or even added those in a DLC. That would have been so much better. But no, they decided to put a paywall behind it and make people pay for those extra Mega Evolutions, which we're all excited for, you know? This isn't GTA where it's pay to play. But at the end of the day, it's Nintendo. They're going to get what they want regardless. And I just hope they acknowledge what they have done and make better decisions for the fans in the future.